La Palma Volcano Eruption Update. Eruption with no end in sight continues at high intensity. The eruption continues with little changes and remains very intense. The active cone shows strong explosive and effusive activity. In particular, the summit vents have been producing spectacular lava fountains and generate an ash plume that rose to 3,800 meters this morning. Several surface lava flows have been observed flowing from the cone. The mixed explosive effusive activity paired with high rates of magma reaching the surface causes frequent small and sometimes larger changes of the geometric configuration at the growing cone, as rapid accumulation works against the forces of gravity, drag of material ejected and flowing away, and parts that become undermined by formation of tubes, etc. Currently, at least 4 or 5 vents are active aligned in a row, with different behavior as the magma pressure varies with the height of the vents themselves and the complex interactions of the rising gases and the fluid magma in the conduits. To get an impression, watch the activity at the vents filmed by drone from the government today. Concerning the most significant instrumental data, there are no signs of a soon end in sight either. Instead, earthquakes have slowly increased not in size, but in numbers. During the past 24 hours, there were 103 quakes of magnitude 3.0 to 3.7 and 156 quakes between 2.0 and 3.0. The location remains the same as before, most at around 12 kilometers depth under the central part of Cumbre Vieja and a few ones in the deeper layer around 35 kilometers depth. Ground deformation also suggests that magma pressure from below is stable, with no clear trend. This suggests that there is still supply of magma from deeper sources to balance the erupting volumes, or, in other words, the eruption is at an equilibrium and might go on for a while still. La Palma, the most northwesterly of the Canary Islands, is a volcanic chimera, a mishmash of various volcanic edifices big and small. In the south you can find Cumbre Vieja, or Old Summit, and despite its name it's one of the younger siblings, dating back a mere 125,000 years. The volcano's last eruption was from a small cone called Tenaguia back in 1971. But that doesn't mean Cumbre Vieja has been quiet since. Just a week ago, these earthquakes were happening only 7 miles deep, and in the last few days, quakes were emanating from just below the surface. From September 10 to 19, a staggering 25,000 quakes, most of them imperceptible to people, had been recorded. This ascending cacophony was the sound of the crust being pushed aside and deformed. The cause? The pressure of the magma intruding in the crust. Most intrusions of magma don't lead to eruptions. They cannot punch through the solid rock above, so they cool down and ultimately stop rising. But it's always possible for a greater volume of molten rock to gather under an intrusion, and that can potentially fuel a prolific, prolonged eruption. Volcanologists were alarmed by the mountain's deformation and its seismic clangor, and on September 13, the authorities raised the alert level, warning the southern section of the island and its 35,000 residents that an eruption may follow. On September 18, scientists began deploying additional seismometers in the region to better identify types of quakes and to track their migration with more precision, while others conducted flybys in helicopters to discern if the ground was heating up. Just before midday on September 19, a potent magnitude -4.2 quake shook the volcano.